Another crazy sell-off, bro. I think we sold off from 9 o'clock open, just like 860 points. And that doesn't even consider the, I mean, look at this thing. There were a couple of good shorts today, as you can imagine. And if you had got in on one of those, you'd be pretty good. But 1,100 points in one day. I mean, you can see how unusual that is compared to other. I mean, that whole leg of 3 days was that much. But yeah, welcome back to the nut. Let's get straight into it, bro. We had Robo Mic syndrome before, so I'm on the laptop. But um, let's get profitable so I can buy a new mic. How about that? This was like a little zone here. I've been drawing out the most recent zones. Because you do expect to bounce sometimes, but not today, baby. But we're on replay mode, so we're just going through as if this is a normal day, and we're just going on. This is replay, right? Friday. Yeah, we're just going. Where's the demand supply? No, actually, let's keep this right here. That's that's the next one. I'm trying to speed run this shit right now. I'm saying, but you got to do this every morning. It's just part of it at this point. So today I was a little more like conservative. Um, so there were a couple of bounces on the 1 hour. So that might like kind of tip you off. Not tip you off, but like honestly fake you out at this point. I mean, we know what happens, but you might be looking to catch the bottom, but really you just don't do that. I think I actually might have got burned on one play. Well, we'll see because I actually left in my positions today. Um, we'll see what happened. So this is at 9 o'clock. And you can see we bounced out of here. But, oh, how could I forget? Uh, Big Reg channel from Friday. Uh, Thursday, 1801. Bro, I stayed up all night last night playing Schedule 1. What a goober. So tired. Probably gonna do it again tonight. Okay. So yeah, I was a little more level-headed today, and I was like just trying to be a little more picky. And I think like when we jump to live or prop firm, whatever, there should definitely be a rule of like once you get a win, um, at least if you're on a small account like this, just go straight down to half size or start on half size. And then if you really see a banger, like you can you can move up. Okay. So you get a nice bounce here. Um, but again, volume here is like kind of meh. So it could go back up here. It could go explore down here. I don't know. These are little spoilers. You can see where I took some positions. But today, just like kind of pay attention to where, um, well, every day, pay attention to how it reacts to the channels. And it can change during the day, and it can be like some days it'll change like day to day. It'll be like some days um it won't react at all. It just doesn't respect them. Some days it's like hard and fast. If it touches the top or the bottom, it's going down. And what I'm noticing right now is like pretty clearly the 1801 channel. Um, sorry, I think I have my uh, thingy on. Oh, I thought you couldn't see that in the recording. Is that better? Uh, right now, very clearly broke through the midline, but had like a little reaction. Um, then when we came back up, bounced out of that, came back up, bounced out of that again. And this was also kind of like a little bit of a zone. So and this is something I didn't really notice like before really. This was something I noticed in the afternoon. Um, but pay attention to this shit because this might help you early on. Okay, we're in a downtrend. You can see I took my first short here and it didn't work out. But why did I do that? On that red candle right there. Why did I do that? Why did I short there? Top of the channel. Um, and I'm just like overall bearish. But it's right here. There's a little bit of a volume node too there. But honestly, like if we're following this trend and these have been making higher lows, and we could be bouncing out of that higher time frame demand zone, and also maybe with these higher lows, we're gonna go test this midline again. And this blue line is what I think that was the main decision making factor. Really, I don't think we have enough tests this early on to tell. So it might not be good to take like opening things based on that line. And you see like, yeah, we bounced up, we made a higher low. Um, but then we go down. And actually there's not really like a good like zone to take that bounce, so you can't really I wouldn't really take it there. I felt better out today though. I think we should actually do like holy shit. I mean the range or the ATR or whatever is so high that this was like just a little 80 point fucking loss real quick. Horrible. But your wins are going to be bigger. But if you have a small account, you can't open on an 80 point loss. Like if you're doing a starter prop firm challenge that's like 2,500 max drawdown, you only have like $1,000 a day max loss and fucking, oh, look at this. Look what happened. I completely missed this. Let's go back here for a sec. Yeah, if you have $2,500 drawdown, you don't want to just bite fucking 800 out of your account right away. Take like 3 MNQs on that. That's also not a great. There was no demand zone there. I drew this one out, but this isn't. It's just not. It's not good. Oh my god! But look what happens up here. Oh my god! This zone that we bounced out of before. No volume, but this zone that we bounced out of before, and the kind of the top of the blue zone, and it's touching. We know it's respecting the midline at this point. If you're gonna take a short, take this one. Take that one. It's actually less risk. And if you take the high, you can get 111 points. If you take, I mean, sorry, the low. If you target the low down here, like this, the demand zone down here, or if you target the low of this channel, you can get 158. I mean, the rate, like the volatility is maniacal. don't forget, like it's easy to look at that 158 and be like, oh my God, the reward is so high, but like that's only like a two, that's not even a 3 to 1 or a 1 to 3. And you just can't forget that your risk is that also that much higher. Like if all things are equal and like you're winning more than you're losing, or and you're getting more than 1 to 1, depending on your win rate, uh, it might not be that big of a deal. If you have a big account, it might not be that big of a deal. But if you have a $2,500 fucking drawdown, then you need to be mitigating your shit with smaller, smaller trading sizes. So yeah, that's a beauty. I actually missed that when I was looking back. What is the trend doing? What is the trend? I've heard that these trend lines on NQ are actually pretty strong. So especially when it's a like a statistical trend line like this, and we keep respecting it, I think that's important to pay attention. Plus a pretty decent zone. Not volume. That's still like volume agnostic, so I'm not 100% on that, but we know the macroeconomic trend is also way down. Let's keep going. Yeah, also at this point, the way that it's just like breaking through this low, if you're trying to bounce out of here, which I think I actually did, you're in trouble. So I'm gonna pull this back so we don't have to look at this all day, but I think I did try to take a long out of here. Uh, I'm just trying to see if there's any like, this looks like a pretty clean supply zone. And there's like a little bit of a volume node there, so it's not a horrible place. Up here too, but just to keep it clean, I'm gonna wait till we get up there. But point it, well, spoiler, you see a little arrow up there. I think something happened. If I drew an arrow, it means I saw it like a few minutes after the fact, but it was a really good place to take a thing, you know. And then yeah, um, so we're deep in this higher time frame daily demand zone. I will say this, like if we're taking a long down here, it's not horrible because higher time frame demand zone bouncing out of the right channel. Um, you're in an area that was just not touched a moment ago, and now so there's no volume down here. That means there's zero volume down here, and it's going to take a lot of power to get price to explore more down here. It for price to go down here, it means there has to be not a lot going up here. And we saw there was already a lot of price interest up here. And if it's um like yeah, sellers are controlling the market, but sellers also want to sell high. They don't want to start selling down here. They're like, we can come back up here and sell. Uh so yeah, sorry if my explanations are worse than usual today. Um, but why did I take this? Because very low demand area, low volume area. Yeah, just like low volume. It kind of it pushed out a little bit here, like as if to like it spiked down here and then pushed out a little bit, which kind of you can see here. It kind of hitched, jumped down, spiked way back up. So that's kind of how I was thinking about that. And that risk about a 1 to 1. I mean, 100 points. Like again, this is risky. If you're doing a counter trend thing like that, if you're trying to find a bottom, even if you're already lowering your risk, I would just like lower your risk even more because you're trying to find a bottom. If you're trying to find a top, it's not great. I was trying to be conservative today also with the targets, and I think I did a good job of that. But I also tried to take like at least 1 to 1. Like if this If the logical target was down here and we're looking at like a half RR, that's just not even worth taking for that much risk. But I looked at the 1-to-1 and it did that pretty quick. So that's cool. Like if we're counter trend, let's just take a little scalp and be done with it. But yeah, trying to break through that blue channel, going up towards here. Don't forget though that we do have, maybe we should draw this out. Like, I feel like it's easy to get burned, especially when we're making this recovery. I feel like we keep seeing it. We see like lower lows into an area that holds for a little bit, but eventually like they keep pushing up into it and they break through it because there's a better pocket of volume or supply up there or whatever it may be. And you see a strong push. So you could have also taken this up to the POC, which I thought, but I was like, I'm scared. And I'm coming off in a loss, so a theoretical loss, you know. So it comes up here, we stall. This first one is like, this is a big red candle. This was also a big red candle, but you remember what we just said and what we've been seeing lately too is like, if it's if it's pumping up into that zone really aggressively, just like be careful. Um, Forward, and then you get it again. It's like a little consolidated. Um, but the fact is, between the VWAP, also notice we're at the midline again of the big channel. So it's just stalling around here. And then you get a little wick higher right up to POC, rejects out of that. Even if you did sell at this big red one, as long as your stop's up here, you're good. And sometimes it can feel like cheating because sometimes you do just get like the very top or the very bottom. And this takes a minute, but it does go in your favor. And if you're selling up here, either the low or because of, so here's the thing, like it's definitely respecting the midline in some shape or form. It's kind of respecting the bottom line. So we can kind of imagine that it's going to go to the bottom of the green channel again. So I would say like, if you're super conservative, take it off right here. If you're pretty confident, this is a good setup. This is a good setup. So I think like medium, like I think it's fine to take this either to value area low or to the bottom of the green channel. If you're a little more ambitious, take it to the bottom of that. And truthfully, like I don't think you even have to be that ambitious because just look at the structure to it's probably eventually you're gonna take a little heat maybe, but it's eventually gonna. So I wouldn't put my stop above this candle, but I don't think, given the entry and given the trend, I don't think it would even break up there at this point. Especially if it breaks this low, then that means this reversal channel is kind of failing, this reversal upwards. But yeah, man, that VWAP. And what did I do here? I took a long out of this area, value area low, bounce. This doesn't feel good. I feel like I don't want to take this. Um, Kind of in the middle of nowhere in regards to the reg channels. Oh, but it actually worked. Okay. So there's still some power here. And why did I pick that target? Why did I pick that target? Well, there was, okay, so not just value area low, but there was definitely a node here. So that's probably why I took that. And I think I picked this volume node as the target, a little higher. So that worked out. I'm not crazy about that though. This is like especially like if I had been short here, I probably wouldn't have been long here. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Why was the R to R down there though? Oh, because of that. Then like bounces out of there again. And I'm glad I got out at this point because I'm just seeing lower lows, lower highs. So I don't know if this thing has the juice. I don't want to be sitting through all this. And yeah, that was, we pretty much got out at the high. Dude, what I really like about the VP is the volume profile is that it lets you set really accurate targets. And as much as I don't want to be like getting out right at the high because I'd rather have a little cushion. Because if like some of these little wicks didn't happen, if there wasn't a little volatility here, we could have gotten almost to our target and then turn away. But the volume profile like really helps with that because the market's just looking for liquidity and people use those nodes for liquidity. Liquid titty. This is also when I'm drawing these zones now. I'm looking back all the time and seeing where was like volume, and I kind of try to conform it to volume. But there is the bar to, like the right way to draw it is at the bar, at the candle open for those green bars. Um, but I also want to be like aware of where the liquidity is. There's also something up here. And then I'm also going to definitely pay attention to this because this is VPOC. This is kind of coinciding with the VWAP. It doesn't come back here, I don't think. Spoiler, but you can see these things as they happen, like VWAP, VPOC, point control. They're all coinciding. Supply zone. So my mind is I'm just ready. I'm like, if it goes up there and gets a good reaction, I would be short. Now, what did I do here? Twice. This I got lucky. I would rather wait for it to establish. Like, I don't know. Did I get lucky? This is like it's because there's like a ledge right here. So I imagine there's going to be some defense from bulls right here. Plus, right at the supply zone, there's that ledge, the demand zone. We're kind of near the bottom of the green boy. So, and what did I target? I think I targeted the midline of the. No, I targeted this node. Would you fucking look at that, dude? Like, that, just target the nodes and you'll be fine. You can get some nice scalps this way. Like, I think I instead of like it was kind of counter trend and like yesterday I would have gotten scraped up trying to catch that falling knife, but like this time it just worked out better. And then I went back in. This seems silly though. Don't tell me this works. Yeah. Oh wow, it worked. Okay. I feel like that one's really lucky though. The first one might have been okay. This one was like really lucky. Okay. It's a little scat. Um, was it already made this reaction? Like maybe just that might be as high as it goes. I mean, I think that is as high as it goes. And I drew an arrow here. Why did I do that? There's a little bit of a zone here. It's yeah. There's like volume right at that high. So like what we were targeting, it hit and then bounced out of there. And I think like hitting your target and then reversing is like kind of a it's like a fun ninja move that works sometimes and you can catch profit on both sides. But I also really think that unless you're really disciplined, you can kind of think like, oh, I'm a wizard. I'm gonna catch the market no matter which way it goes. I've like kind of burned myself a couple times that way. Um, because the rush really is just like you feel like you're in the matrix. Um, but I think the better way to play this is take a little scalp here, then turn around and be ready to short. Yeah. But how long are you short it for? I don't know. I don't think this is actually the best short because you are so, you're pretty low. Like you probably are going to go lower, but you could go higher first and then go lower. So I actually don't think that's a great short because of context. Maybe if that volume node was sticking like way, way out. But how far does it go? Oh, it really does go down though. Okay. I'm a goober. Straight down to the bottom. Jeepers. So you could have taken that down there. Okay, so I guess like this kind of, I mean, it worked. It didn't want to stay, it wanted to stay below the value area line, plus the zone, plus, I don't know, the reg channels don't quite support it. Like you break above this midline, but again, look at the blue midline. It hasn't, it's gotten some reactions, but it didn't respect the way that the green line had seen some drops. So I'm a little bit, I don't think it's too bad. Like since you were in a big downtrend, like I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to take a little bit of a risk on that. And then we'll come back like we did yesterday and go backwards and only look at like the the good stuff. And this, I saw this happen because I had drawn this out. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have taken that. And I was like a little bit FOMO-y. And actually, I think I was looking at this red bar, thought about taking it, but I knew that like something like this could happen. So I wanted to wait for something else. Um, but no, even though it gives you a couple kind of fake outs, but it really just, it's come. Well, let's look at this. Really strong pumps upwards, making higher lows. So that's kind of that thing where it's like just attacking the level, breaking through. Yeah, just kind of draw that out a little bit because obviously the red arrow is there. Okay, so you see this one too. That seems like it would fake some people out for sure. Um, but it doesn't quite touch, and I do want to see it go higher because of the volume profile. Um, which has changed certainly. Uh, which has changed. But yeah, I'm just thinking it could go higher. I don't know why. But also that candle's not great. It's still very green, even though it's like got a big wick on top. Wait for a better one. And you get one there. It's it's not beautiful, but you get a better one, and it happens. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to see it go like a little higher. I can't. I think that candle wasn't great, and volume wasn't great. So I was just like, I just want to see it go a little higher and then fail, and it did, but I didn't get in. Um, and I think this one really takes off. This is the afternoon now, so yeah, it really just fucking sold off like the rest of the day. Um, and this is where you make like $10,000. And again, like you can target value area low, you can target the low, you can target the bottom of the reg channels in order of increasing kind of ambition, you know. Um, I don't actually know if it hits the reg channels, but I would be very cautious about holding it short here unless like I was thinking at this point though, like you can probably just hold it. If you're not on a prop firm, like if you're not restricted by hours, you can just hold this thing overnight at this point. I like you could get a crazy rally with the sellers just giving up, but the market has just been tanking. And I think this was like a record breaking day. Not in terms of like most highest like distance gone down, but um there was some record that it broke today. Or like not seen we haven't seen it since like, you know, 19 whatever. So you do get this nice move. Um the thing is it's just like it's like you oh yeah, you get this nice move, but then it comes back to you. And it's like that's why I am more and more like as kind of like a psychological hedge, but also a way to like maximize returns. I think if you have the ability to scale into multiple contracts, like again, let's do like our little exercise of like if I had 10 contracts, which if you trade MNQ, I mean just break this down for however you trade, right? If it's 5 MNQ, if it's 10 MNQ, if it's 10 NQ, you know. When I short here, my first target is value area low. Okay. That's like kind of your conservative target. Makes you $2,000. So let's say take off 70% of your position. Oh, we're going to do it like this though. 70% right here. Next would be, let's say this low. Okay. So it's kind of just like, there is some logic behind this. I'm not just like being kind of arbitrary. Some I kind of am, but I'm not. This one, the first target is if it doesn't make it here, or if it comes down here, I'm like, where's the first place it could bounce? It could bounce at that midline, but I think it's more likely to bounce at value area low, at more of like a volume thing. Um, so I'm like, we could touch that, we could tap that and then bounce back up to my stop if this uptrend continues. So that's like worst case scenario. So I want my worst case scenario to be me taking like almost exactly how much that move would be worth in a scalp. If we break through here, I think that for it to reverse, it still would have to go pretty low, like maybe there's a little zone down here. Um, but more so, thinking, I'm thinking if they didn't save it up here, like maybe they're not going to save it because that's also like a big volume node. Um, like are bulls going to come in down here, or are they going to come in down here? That's what I'm thinking, right? So that's why I chose the low. And also, besides that, what are downtrends? They're lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So if I'm expecting a downtrend, why wouldn't I target this if I still think this is a downtrend? That's kind of just the easiest way to think about it. And then more ambitious would just be holding it, either targeting this bottom or just holding it for like a scalp. So like 70% of my position, um, 10 to 20 more down here, and then let 10 to 20 ride the rest of the way. And you see, like kind of as this develops, chill, bro. Get out of draw mode. As it develops, let's just draw them all out so you can see like what would happen to your contracts. And like if you're holding it, just like maybe don't even fucking put a goddamn, you know what I'm saying? So it does come back up here, right? That's a little nerve-wracking. It just went hundreds of points in my direction. Why am I still scared, you know? Or why am I holding it? But something that the channels help with in that confidence is that, like, it's, you know, if it roughly bounces up and down the same kind of amount ish, then it's probably going to start going back down somewhere around this channel when it gets back up to this channel, to the top of the channel. Okay. And volume also, there's a big fat node there from when everybody sold off here. Let's take a look. There's a node already. And then this isn't going to be super helpful. Oh my God, don't let it for me. And now there's two big nodes here. So after it sold off, like maybe just a shitload of people sold there. I don't know. That wasn't the best example. Whatever. But why did I pick this? Why would I pick that? I think this, I was a little loosey-goosey with the, yeah, like it doesn't touch the channel, the situation. I think I was loosey-goosey because I was like, it's breaking out of this channel. If this is a downtrend, we broke this low. I don't think it's going to go much higher than this. So it is risky, but like that looks like that's also a beautiful candle. So that's not the best, but that's also like it doesn't quite hit that volume node. So not the most beautiful. But it's like breaking above POC. It's like has to decide if it wants to keep going up or not. So that's not the best. Like this one is better. And it scares you, but then right at this is 4 o'clock. No, it's not. But it sells off going into 4 and then does not come back. I'm just curious what it looks like on that one too. And if you take your runner that you had, that's not even it, then you would end the day at 4 o'clock at, you know, 330 points open. You can just leave it because it's your last contract. And then I think it just keeps going. Yeah, what does it look like there though? So right here, is our volume node. I just want to see what it looks like. Okay, so it breaks above, and then it can't make higher highs once after breaking above POC. It can't make higher highs. So then you're kind of in that bigger zone. That's a little honestly. Oh, was it this? I'm goofy. Maybe it's because of that. And it does poke above, but it doesn't break this high. I don't know. But that is risky because look at how much like risk you're taking on. I think if you pull everything together, you can kind of discern that that's a good place to short, but I can understand any hesitation as well, especially if you've already shorted here and you're like, I just got crazy. Maybe you want to take some of those winnings and use it to get back in the game. You could also draw it out like that. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, again, like it doesn't make higher highs once it's out of the POC. Once it's above the POC, um, it does break this, and then immediately it's like huge sell off back down. Like it's really struggling. You give it one last push, and then big red candle, and that's that. So yeah, your runner right now would be at, or at the end of the Globex session would be at 400 points. So this one was like 250. This one is like 270. So just like it's like 10K right there. Okay, let's go back. I feel like we covered those pretty good, so we don't have to go into that again. Yeah, that was like a volume node. That was this good supply zone. Top of the channel, I think. Yeah, top of the channel. So that one definitely a good one. Um, this one. This short right here. This short right here. A little bit. I don't like this one as much. Um, a little bit of a volume thing, but it rejected value area low here. It didn't get back up there. I'm not, I'm not 100% on that. And we're still, yeah. And we're kind of low in the grand scheme of this down move. So if you wanted to take that, maybe scalp it. I mean, definitely scalp it because it doesn't go very far, you can see, but like maybe take it to the green. You can get more than a 1-to-1 on that. Yeah, this one wasn't bad because definitely like near the low. No volume down here. But again, just a little scalp for those like near the bottom counter trend shits. Up here. The midline. I bet this was like at PLC as well. Yeah, right off the fucking POC VWAP midline. Um, so everything about this one says short this. You also see a couple times where if you did get in, these are just like reasons. I used to put my stop behind the candle, but if you did get in and like quote unquote faked out, if your stop is actually above either a volume point and or supply, and ideally your zones will be volume backed, so ideally that's one and the same. You're gonna be fine. You just might have a bad entry like this instead of this, you know, which can kind of make a big difference. But if you're seeing that, like that looks pretty strong, right? Okay, so midline volume, VWAP, all very good stuff. And then why did I take this one? bottom of the channel in the high value, high higher time frame demand zone. Uh, very little volume below, so price doesn't want to explore anymore. And then yeah, just like bouncing up there. So again, quick scalp, use volume profile to target on those little scalps, especially counter trend. So I'm not upset about that one. But I think that's the first one I took, so that's it. I want to see. Let's play a little game. I do want to see like how much I would have made today because I know it was better than yesterday. Could I use the calculator? Yes, I could. Am I going to? No. 100 points. Oh yeah, sure. Whatever. 100. This was 99. Oh, this one. Why did I take this one? That was a big L to start the day. That was the first one. Selective remembering is what that was. Yeah, POC top of the reg channel early on. So let the reg channel develop a little bit. Respecting the midline, so maybe are still going to bounce up to the midline. All that good shit. But yeah, turned out to be a bad one. So negative 80, let's call that. You can already see with these two scalps, like we've more than turned a nice little profit. This one was 58, 43. No, I didn't take those shorts. That was actually a really good day. So that's an 80% win rate. $220. That is the sum of all that stuff. 220. And that is $4,400. Not bad. And that's like really without even taking that many shorts, which I really should have been taking. And yeah, again, like 1 loss, 4 wins. So yeah, I think I was a little more picky today. If I had an ideal day, if I could have, I'd say 2020, but like if we try to be a little more smart about it this time, like I wouldn't have taken that one. Why did I take that one? I think I was just like I was like a little euphoric, I think. Yeah, I don't think that's a great one. Like if that makes sense. Value very low. It's hard to say because it worked, obviously, but like this just might. Oh yeah, it was that little ledge. Okay, so there was like okay. All right. I'll leave that one. Because this could have turned into an uptrend, but if it didn't, if this made a lower high, which it did, then that's that. Like in these trades, it's like, what is this? I want to be out before I get proved wrong. And it's like, how likely am I to be wrong? Um, how long can I be right for? Like that kind of thing. So I decided, like, if I can't break through this volume node here, then I think we're confirming a downtrend. And I'm going to be wrong if I hold on up here. Hopefully that makes sense. So ideally, I don't think I would have taken that. Not a great trade to long down here, but this one I liked. This one I kind of liked it. So this short I could live without. I don't think that's. I mean, it's so the downtrend has been so played out that it kind of looks like you're near the bottom anyways. Like you're probably going to break through here, but not much further. And like that's exactly what happened. Okay. Yeah, that's it, babe. Not a bad day.